Come on to the platform.
The show where we do stories with no thought whatsoever. My name is Ryan.
My name is Kevin.
Oh, I'm excited.
Me too.
I feel like I say that at the beginning of all of these.
Well, it's an exciting kind of show.
It's an exciting kind of a show, and it's always true. I wouldn't lie.
He's not lying, I can tell.
I wouldn't lie to you, Kevin. I wouldn't lie to you, the listener.
I can tell. He wouldn't lie.
What are the 3 signs that you can tell I'm not lying?
One is that the air temperature in here has not changed. When you lie, it gets significantly more humid.
That's true.
Yeah.
From my incredible sweat.
From his incredible sweat.
That's
he sweats
true.
like the Nile River.
Yep.
Two is that when I feel your heartbeat is at a steady rhythm throughout your conversation. And if your heartbeat increases, then I know you're a liar.
That's true.
A liar, pants on my floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one, I know that you're not a liar, is because I am lying.
All along.
All along. How can you lie and I lie? It's my turn to hold the lying.
Mom said it's my turn to lie.
Yeah, Mom said it's my turn to lie. We're not brothers. That would make everything I say extremely weird.
Yes.
As opposed to what it normally is, which is deeply normal.
Which is really, really normal.
Before we started recording, I started moaning. It was a bit wild.
That's true.
Can you put that in like the background of this section, Ryan?
You know what? For you, no.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think it's time that we get started. I think we should do a story.
I think so.
Today, like we do every week here on the platform.
You know what we should do sometime?
What?
We should draw a picture.
We should draw a picture?
Like, we should say, like, we're gonna do a story, then you and I are just like, actually, no, let's not do a story. Let's draw a picture. Let's get some crayons. Let's get some paper.
And just draw a picture in this audio medium?
Yeah, well, we could draw it near the mic. Maybe they could pick up our scratches.
Okay.
And then we, post the picture, and we're like, we decided not to do a story today.
Well, I have bad news. We've just missed the April Fool's boat.
No, we haven't.
We haven't?
Today's April Fool's.
Well, yeah. But
what? These are live, aren't they? Oh, I have misunderstood this entire time. I was under the impression that you could respond in Twitch chat. Wait, where is Twitch chat?
And as he looks around, Kevin finds himself in a padded room.
Oh, no!
Arms strapped to his sides.
Oh, no!
There's a knock on the door.
Oh, I'm crazy!
It opens, and a man in a white suit comes in.
Who is it?
Kevin.
Stop it.
We've been expecting you, Kevin.
Don't.
It's me, your dad.
I can't believe it. It's my father.
Lloyd.
Oh, my God.
I have one message for you, Kevin.
What's your message?
None of this is real. You need to wake up. You're doing a podcast.
No, this fucking God say it ain't so.
It's true. You need to accept your reality.
Anyways, so let's get started.
Let's get started. And I'm excited today for more than one reason because a wonderful listener...
Take 2.
Okay, thanks. We're professionals here.
That's fine. Just edit this out.
Okay, yeah, I'll totally edit all of this out. A wonderful listener of ours has sent in a suggestion for this episode.
A suggestion. How did they send in the suggestion? Well, I'll answer that question. They sent it in via a Gmail.
That's not true. They sent it in by Facebook.
I think I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Okay.
You seem to be more well-informed than me.
A wonderful listener of ours has sent in a suggestion for this episode via Facebook. Thank you very much to Kieran for the suggestion. And the suggestion that has been provided us today is oatmeal.
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 Oatmeal, yum, yum, yum.
A delicious gloopy snack, a breakfast for all.
Oatmeal.
The glue that binds our very society together. Oatmeal.
And also the glue that binds bridges together.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think we should, let's get started. So, it's oatmeal. So, let's start with our little title, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Yeah. Oh, hey, wait. If people wanted to get their own oatmeal going, they want to get their own little suggestion go on? Where would they send that information to?
What a good question, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I asked.
You can send in a suggestion to inspire an episode of the show. You can send it in on all of our social media platforms. So you can send us an email at platform.pod.show@gmail.com.
You can also go to our Instagram, the Platform Podcast.
Yes, and you can. Now we have a TikTok page.
It's wild. Whoa.
Yes. We are both young and hip.
I'm 25.
It's you can find us at Platform Podcast. DM us on all of those platforms.
Please. We'd love to genuinely hear from you.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And you can inspire an episode of the show. Yeah. So, the title of this episode...
Much better than getting, rooms constantly, which is
we get a lot
weird one.
Get a lot of rooms.
Okay, so let's start with this title, shall we?
Yeah,
okay.
let's.
Oh.
My...
dear...
bowl...
of...
slop.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, my dear bowl of slop. What will this story be? Let's find out.
Okay, so here we are. We're coming in. We're in the clouds right now. Okay. We usually start here.
This is the traditional starting place in the clouds.
So we zoom down through the clouds, and as we zoom down through the clouds, we come on to a city. A bustling city with cars going by. I think I'll do a little Foley.
Sure. I'd love that.
Yeah. Okay. So some cars are going by and a few trains are moving past. And a subway system.
Sort of a metropolitan area.
Yeah. The bustle of feet and of people's humdrum lives as they buzz about. Doing the different things they need to do in the coastal nest that we have made on this area, this city.
And as people are walking around, the camera sort of moves around and pauses on each of them for the briefest of moments, sharing sort of a window into their daily life. We see a man reading a newspaper and grimacing and chucking it into a garbage bin.
Ugh.
We see a woman carrying a large potted plant and talking on the phone.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe this succulent. It's just big. It's really huge. Oh my god.
And we see a young boy playing with his sister. They're chasing a ball across through the sidewalk, and people are saying "Whoa, hey, watch it! No, sorry,
I'll never die."
And the camera moves past all this, and it moves into a darker area of the city. It moves under an overpass. The rumble of the trains overhead and the screech of the cars nearby sort of fades away, and we move into a sort of a quiet, secluded, dark area of this city. In shadow are piles of sort of construction rubble, refuse tossed carelessly by the members and occupants of this city lay nearby.
Out from a pile of rubble, a fist, large, imposing, deeply physical and veiny.
Ooh.
It moves out of the rubble, and with its 6 fingers, it maneuvers about, looking around the rubble, feeling every rock, as if it is a blind creature looking for something or other, before finally it finds what it's looking for.
A box.
A box.
An empty box, hidden amidst the refuse. An empty cardboard box. On the front of the box, a smiling, kindly face. The face of a man from long ago. The smiling face of the oatmeal man.
The box, crunk, shunk, 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 is pulled across the overpass and back onto the origin of the hand.
The long arm sort of retracts within the pile of rubble until 2 beady eyes appear from the shadow, glowing softly in the darkness. 2 yellow eyes. They gaze upon the box.
Well, I guess this will do.
And the box is retrieved again, once more, called into the rubble. And the rubble shifts. A great being seems to emerge, still cloaked in shadow. We still can't see fully what it really looks like. And just as it begins to tower over the underpass, we cut to the middle of a park.
Tweet, tweet. A bird says.
A beautiful park in the midst of this bustling metropolis. Children playing, parents idly watching children playing.
Water fountains.
Birds, trees. It's a beautiful, idyllic place.
The jungle gym and slides as well.
All of these things you can find in a park usually. Rocks sometimes.
Yeah. There's a bit of grass. The sky is also here. I don't know if you mentioned that.
What else? What else is in this park?
You see like a newspaper. There's a newspaper. A bench. There's a bench.
There's a bench
in the park. A couple of swings. There's also children, but
right.
they don't live here. Unlike all those other things, they live here.
And on that bench, there's a young boy sort of happily licking an ice cream cone, and it's very sort of, it's a picturesque sort of summer's day here in the city. And then all of a sudden, the boy, his eyes seem to lock on something out of frame, and he does the thing where he sort of widens his eyes, and as he's licking his ice cream falls off his ice cream cone.
But this kid's awesome. He grabs it again.
He has wonderful reflexes, and he grabs it. But a shadow looms over him from out of frame. It's sort of a close-up on his face. And then a scream is heard. And suddenly, a foot is visible. People begin running and screaming. Only segments of this being are ever made visible to you, the viewer, at any given time.
It's terrible. His large foot, his large hand, his elbow,
his long drooping arms, and all of him
terrible shin.
All of him is covered in a sort of milky, creamy, gloopy beige
slub.
Yes.
A slop.
A sloppy substance.
And you could see it's terrible. His horrible ass moving out of frame.
Yes, and it's a close-up again of just his eyes, his beady yellow eyes, as he looks around and he says,
"Apples." A young man, seemingly on a date, looks up at the creature. The creature looks down at him, looks. Tremendous eyes with the minuscule eyes of the young man. And he repeats, "Apples." Apples! And the ground shakes.
And suddenly it cuts to the wail of sirens, the police. They're screeching down the road. Oh God. We're in the police car, and there's a call coming in of a horrendous monster has made itself known in the central park of this city.
I'm basically going to be on Police Academy.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
give me 2 more.
Don't choke. Stanislavski. Beep.
And they all screech to a halt around the perimeter of this park. People are running and screaming. It's pandemonium. And finally, we see as the policemen step out of their vehicle, one of them sort of takes off his sunglasses and says,
"I don't know if our semi-military thuggery will be able to handle this.
And finally, we pan over and we see the monster in its full form. A horrendous, sloping beast.
Sort of horrendous. It's mostly sloping.
It's a largely sloping beast covered in slop. Beige slop. Beady eyes, crooked teeth, long, almost orangutan-like arms.
He's squatting over top of the earth itself. Slop falling ever so delicately down.
Yes, he leaves a trail of glue.
Terrible.
Wherever he goes.
One can only assume he's naked.
He probably...
Terrible.
Looking further down south, he doesn't appear to be anatomically correct.
Oh, no.
But one's eyes don't...
But he's anatomically incorrect.
Oh, in a horrible way. And the police...
Although he isn't actually doing anything. He's just kind of squatting.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting there. He's not shitting or anything. Yet.
Tune in.
And the policeman leans into his walkie-talkie as he dramatically takes off his sunglasses, and he says into the walkie-talkie,
We're gonna need the breakfast, boys.
Cut again. It's quiet.
We cut away to the diner.
Yeah, we cut away to a diner.
Yeah.
3 young, ordinary boys.
Wait. We should add some, like a girl.
Oh yeah.
So there's
a lot of boys in this one. It's very boy heavy.
Okay. So let's say it's actually 4 girls.
4 girls.
Yeah, 4 girls.
And they're called the Breakfast Boys.
Look.
Well, we don't know who they are.
Society's wrong. All right.
Society's wrong.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
At home.
To you.
It's nobody's fault.
It's nobody's fault.
These are the Breakfast Boys. They're 4 ordinary girls.
Yeah. Aged 17 to 30.
Yeah, it's a diverse group of girls.
It's a diverse group, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that would appeal to modern audiences.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So as they're just sitting, enjoying their grand slams from the diner, they're eating their pancakes. One of them says, "Gosh, it sure is boring around here."
And the oldest one, the 30-year-old one, turns to the younger one. You said 17 to 30.
I know, but I'm just like...
It's a 30-year-old woman.
I'm aware it's a 30-year-old woman. It's not that 30-year-old women are funny. It's the idea of like this is like a corporate like TV show or whatever, and they're like, we need some old women.
We need some older women.
So we get a 30-year-old woman. That's the oldest woman we can think of.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's just how it is. I'm sorry.
The 30-year-old woman turns to the 17-year-old and says, "Oh, gumdrop, you know how it happens. Every time you say something like that, something comes our way."
Then Sugar Cane will say, "Yeah, but I hope something comes our way. Stop us from eating this terrible pancake."
The waiter is standing just nearby and looks at them sadly.
The waiter speaks. "It is hard enough to wake up some days."
They all look at it. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
You should be.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
And as this awkward interaction is happening, suddenly the 4th girl that we haven't mentioned, named Gingerbread. She has orange hair.
She has orange hair.
Suddenly she gets a deedly-dee on her little wristband here.
"Oh, it's time to take my medication. Give me a second." And then they hear ding, 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 and they all turn and they say in unison, "The breakfast bell!"
And an older gentleman in a suit is walking
He's
through.
30, don't worry.
He's 30. He's only 30, so that means he's really, really old.
He's
in today's,
so old.
He's impossibly old. You can't get older than 30. And he's walking through the door in sort of a gray pinstripe suit, and he says, "Breakfast, boys."
"Yes, Diner Dan," they'd say.
"You heard the breakfast bell. You know what that means. It's time to hit the road. There's a breakfast-related emergency here in the downtown core. Gumdrop.
Gumdrop.
Candy.
Sugarcane.
Gumdrop. Sugarcane. Gingerbread.
And Melissa.
Molasses Melissa.
Molasses! No, her name's just Molasses.
Molasses. The artist formerly known as Melissa.
Now.
Okay, so what are they called? Gumdrop?
Gumdrop,
Sugarcane, gingerbread, and molasses.
And then there's Diner Dan. Who's kind of like the Bosley.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as he says each of their names, it like cuts to them. And it shows like it's like a close-up of their face, and it kind of shows their quirky personality.
Yeah.
Gumdrop is the youngest, sort of brash one of the bunch, and she never takes anything seriously.
I'll kill you all.
Sugarcane is like the nerdy one with the big glasses, and she always has like some kind of contraption that she's working on.
I need to work on my GPA.
And Gingerbread, she's the aggressive one. She's always spoiling for a fight.
It's like a hard day today, but my spoons are low.
And Molasses is the stoic one, the responsible one, the one that's 30 years old.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just getting over something right now. The four of you breakfast boys, it's your old... no, it's something you've never seen before.
Okay, sure. All right, Diner Dan, Sugarcane says.
You've never seen the likes of this one before, but I'm sure that you can handle it.
There's nothing we can't handle early in the morning.
Yeah, that's right, says Molasses, footing the bill. Because
she's older, she has a career.
Yeah, she has like a career.
This is like a side thing.
Yeah, this is like, they're not paid for this.
It's true.
Which is unconscionable.
Terrible.
The more you think about it.
Well, it's for the good of the city.
It's for the good of the city.
You know, maybe they get an honorarium.
They probably get an honorarium.
Why not?
We're getting into the weeds here. Diner Dan.
We should be getting into the deeds. The good deeds that we're about to do, Sugarcane says to the narrator.
Diner Dan sits down at the table and he brings up a little like a little hologram screen, and it's showing the carnage in the inner city park as this oatmeal monster is wreaking havoc.
Gingerbread says, I love Pacific Rim.
Gumdrop says, it looks like another challenge for me. Molasses says, I hope I can get home to the kids on time today. And
Gingerbread
raises her fists.
No. Is Gingerbread angry?
Gingerbread's the angry one.
Yeah, so Gingerbread's just like, I don't know. I'm sure we can do this.
It's nothing we can't handle. Nothing we haven't handled before.
Sugarcane will look over and say, it looks like some kind of mealy man.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of OT omen.
I would actually, Gingerbread, it's a bit more of a mealy man.
Okay, well, I think it's an OT omen.
And then Gumdrop will say, everybody, shut the fuck up! Diner Dan, you wanted to speak? Go ahead.
Thank you, Gumdrop. You swear a lot.
I'm 17.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna be this is your brief before you head into the field today. Are all of you feeling ready to handle it? And Gumdrop
none of them say anything.
Okay, the vibes are off today. We can work with it. These are your gadgets that you're being prepared with, on top of the basic powers that you all uniquely have.
Yeah, of course, which we will establish later.
This is your unique one-time use gadget. This is your grapple hook.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Gumdrop raised their hand.
Yes,
sorry,
Gumdrop.
Sorry, Dan. Don't mean to cut you off here, but
no problem.
Usually our gadgets are breakfast food related, and this just actually appears to be a grappling hook.
Oh yeah. Well,
maybe like grapefruit, like the grapefruit grapple.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
He pulls out a little like label maker out of his inner coat pocket, and he's like, just 1 second here. And then he goes, and it says in a little plain white label that says grapefruit grapple.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Or Sugarcane says the grapefruit grapple.
Yeah, the grapefruit grapple. This can allow you to ascend any distance up a building. And this isn't all we have from what's the weapons development thing?
It's the sous chef.
The sous chef. Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't all the sous chef has for you today. This as well. And he holds out a stick of chewing gum.
Whoa, what's this?
Now it looks like ordinary chewing gum.
It does! Grapefruit. No, not. Gumdrop says.
My name is Diner Dan. We're so bad with names. We've come up with like 7.
It's okay.
This looks like ordinary chewing gum, but actually, if you chew it, and you'll find that it has a mysterious property that I won't explain now for dramatic effect, but you'll know when it's the right time to use it later.
Molasses says, love that.
In improv, this is called shelving. We'll shelve this concept for later.
That's exciting. We've been at this diner for a very long time,
Yes,
Diner Dan.
countless have perished.
Is there anything else you need to tell us?
Only one more thing.
What is it?
Time to go to the breakfast mobile.
Oh, we're here.
Here we are at the breakfast mobile.
Here we are at the Breakfast Mobile.
It is a shiny chrome vehicle. You can see the sun sort of glancing off of its bumper, and it's squeaky clean outside.
Wow.
It's almost like a dune buggy kind of thing. It seats
incredible.
4, and it's bright purple.
Developed by Hyundai.
Developed by Hyundai. This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai. Driving together.
Together toward the future.
Towards the future. All right, Molasses says, getting into the driver's seat because she's the oldest. Who's ready to roll?
I am, says Gingerbread, and she, spins into the seat.
Whatever, says Sugarcane, still focusing on her little handheld computer as she leaps into the back seat. And Gumdrop says, I need something to do with all this feeling that I have. And she does a cartwheel into the back seat.
Molasses turns around dramatically and gives her a fidget spinner.
Here you go. And the two of them screech. They burn rubber out of the Denny's parking lot. And Diner Dan walks out, glancing into the sun, covering his eyes after them. And he says,
whoa, ho, ho. Well, guess I better make my way home.
And he heads to the subway. Meanwhile, in the park.
Vroom. Wow, this car gets great mileage.
Yeah. It's powered entirely off of compost.
Woo!
Because we love the planet.
We love the planet. And so does Hyundai.
So does Hyundai. We're driving our world forward together to the future. And they fishtail into they approach the police blockade, and the police chief says, the breakfast boys. Thank goodness you're here.
Hi there, says Gingerbread. So tell us about this Odie Omen.
Actually, I think it's more of a shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa,
Gumdrop, sit down.
The police chief says, whoa, the vibes are off today, it looks like.
It's okay. We're working on that.
Molasses steps forward. So, what's the situation? And the police chief says, well, we've never seen anything like it. It's like a man comprised entirely of meal. Of oatmeal. Mm-hmm. Gumdrop shoots Gingerbread a look. They stare daggers at one another. And the police chief says, all of our guns, which we discharged immediately without hesitation, have no effect.
Sugarcane steps forward and says, his composition is similar to that of an oatmeal, of a cereal. So perhaps if we liquefy him, if we lubricate him, we'll be able to make him unconstitutional.
Yeah, and render him powerless. Good thinking, says Molasses.
Thanks, Molasses.
I
really appreciate the positive feedback.
Looks at Gumdrop again. She rolls her eyes.
Gingerbread readies her knife.
And Molasses says, "Has one more thing, Commissioner? Has the monster made any demands?"
Well, he keeps saying something, but I don't really pay any attention.
Yeah, we can't.
The moment he started speaking, I pulled out my mace and started spraying.
Yeah, the gunfire, the continuous gunfire that has been pointed in his direction has been too loud and uninterrupted. We can't hear what he's saying. We'll never be political here on the platform.
We're never political on the platform.
And Molasses. This entire conversation,
like Powerpuff Girls, but like all the cops are shooting.
are just continually shooting. This entire conversation is almost inaudible because of the incessant gunfire that's going on in the background.
We're professionals. He keeps screaming something. One of the cadets say, "Hey, cadet! Don't you dare ever listen to what someone has to say."
"Oh, sorry, Commissioner."
"Well, what does he say?" says Gingerbread.
And the cadet speaks up, "Well, I'm just a cadet, but it sounds like he's saying apples."
"Apples?" all the girls say simultaneously.
"Apples."
Which Molasses says, "Gals, yes, apples."
Yeah, we heard him the first time. And with that, there's a little brim, and a hologram appears on all of their little lapel pins. And
It's Diner Dan.
Diner Dan shows up and he says,
"Oh, sorry, I'm on the subway right now." How's it going, girls?
Well, Diner Dan, Sugar Cane says, we have intel about the creature. It appears that he is lusting after apples in some capacity."
Interesting. Well, sorry. No, I wasn't. Sorry. Thanks. Well, what you can try to do is you could possibly give him a demand. Like, if you give him those apples, maybe he'll come around to your way of thinking.
At which point Sugarcane steps in and said, wait, no, not Sugarcane. Gumdrop steps in and says, "That's maybe gonna fucking happen, but more likely we should probably just liquefy him."
"Yeah," says Gingerbread. "Yeah, liquefy him and then he can't hurt anybody else." And Molasses says, "Well, all right, girls, it looks like we're gonna have to put our heads together on this. Thanks, Diner Dan. We'll give it the old breakfast boy try."
You got it. Keep me updated, gal. Sorry. Okay.
Hey,
I'll turn it.
Can you turn it
Yeah.
down?
Okay.
Boop. And the hologram disappears.
Sugarcane goes over to Molasses and grabs her by the face and tries to put her head onto hers, and Molasses, "No, honey, no."
That's not what I meant. Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. Goes back to her computer. And Gingerbread and Sugarcane sort of do that thing where they bang their fists together. And they're like, "I don't need no... we don't need..." Oh, God.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Do we need to stop?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
And they say, we don't need to negotiate. We need to liquefy. Liquefy. And Gingerbread raises up her mighty fist and she, bang, knocks the front off of a nearby fire hydrant. And some action music starts.
Yeah. She's gonna crack her fists and say, that was my cinnamon toast crunch.
Nice. And the oatmeal monster looks over and goes, and Gingerbread suddenly leaps into the torrent of water and is launched towards him. It takes a long time for her to fly there, but then she gets there and her fist lands, and the oatmeal monster in slow motion goes, ooh.
She slaps into the oatmeal monster and shifts her way through his being before coming out the other side and landing on a tree and looking back up. She wipes oatmeal away from her eyes and says, "You're toast."
and she looks back, and the oatmeal monster has this big gaping hole through him, but then it sort of reforms, and he looks over at her.
What?
And he's
how?
And he says,
he turns back around. He's got a first aid kit.
"Safety is important," he says.
No!
And then that's when Sugarcane comes up from behind. and she has her technologies.
My technologies. This is my
Spoon.
This is my spoon, my super optimized operating processor.
Nice.
Nano machine.
Super
optimized.
Where's the P? Super processed.
I can't spell spoon.
Super
Processing optimized operational nano machine. This is the slowest fucking episode we ever done. She hits some fucking buttons on her computer, zaps him. It doesn't do anything.
We're running through the narrative motions here.
Anyway, so Gumdrop goes over to the torrent of water. She says, that was all a distraction. Why did I say that?
I don't know.
The oatmeal monster turns back towards Gumdrop and says, "Oh, what?"
And Gumdrop says, "Take this."
She puts her hands in the water and she turns them into milk.
She turns them into milk, and suddenly the frothy milk shoots forth and slams the oatmeal monster right in his chest.
What is this? I'm lactose intolerant.
And Molasses says, "Good work, Gumdrop." And she starts running towards him, and she picks up a big bowl. She reaches behind her, and she unfolds this technology bowl, and it sort of turns into this big bowl, and she scoops it across him.
Ha! Molasses screams. They all scream very similarly.
And the oatmeal monster goes, "Oh!" And he sort of falls in half, in two pieces on the ground.
You think you breakfast-based female superheroes are able to defeat me? I'm not going to let that happen, as it were. Currently,
it's not
die! He screams as he pounds into the ground.
Whoa, and the concrete sort of cracks and shifts, and chunks of asphalt fly past.
All the police officers keep firing.
They're shooting this whole time. They're narrowly missing all of the
breakfast boys.
All of the breakfast boys. And Molasses says, nothing is working. And suddenly they get up, ba-ding, and Diner Dan appears in a hologram in front of them again.
Hey guys, at an internet cafe.
Whoa, Diner Dan!
Okay, I did a little research. Turns out oatmeal is actually a breakfast food.
Diner, we know that. We know that, Dan. Did you do any other research?
Call you back, girls.
And Molasses says, well, Dan's no help, but we still have our
grapefruit grapple.
Maybe if we pull him using the grapple towards the water, we can wash him away down the drain.
Fuck yeah, says Gumdrop.
You really gotta cool it there. Really gotta tone it down a notch, Gumdrop.
Gingerbread takes the grapple and she runs over and slides underneath the oatmeal monster. And then she slams the grapple around his feet and or his midsection. I guess he's cut in half now.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh no!" And she runs all around his Odie exterior. Then Gumdrop goes over, grabs onto the part of the grappling hook, and she looks up at him and she pulls out a water gun.
Yeah.
She shoots a little bit of water up and then she touches it and turns it into
orange juice. Yeah.
But pulpy orange juice. So she climbs it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she starts getting around his midsection and the Odie monster says, "I'm not entirely sure what's happening."
Yeah, the description of it hasn't been super clear up to this point.
It's at that point that Molasses says, "Well, now you're tied up."
Oh no! And with that, it goes king, and the grappling hook starts to retract very quickly, and he starts getting pulled along the ground. And Gumdrop and Sugarcane are riding on his shoulders, as he goes, and he's getting closer and closer to the spurt of water, and he goes, "Not so fast!" And he sort of like loosens his form, so he falls apart, and the rope goes right through him. And Molasses goes, "No, we almost had him."
Gingerbread looks back up at him. He's fallen down, and he's coalesced into a new horrid oatmeal monster. He keeps smashing the ground and like attacking trees. And Gingerbread thinks, apples,
Trees.
apples, trees, apples, trees,
Gumdrop looks up, taps her on the shoulder. He's like, "You okay?"
apples,
You're just saying apples and trees.
trees.
Wait, apples, trees. That's
apples, trees.
That's
and then
how-
Sugarcane comes over and is like, "What's going on?
What's going on over here?
Apples, trees."
And Molasses walks over and is like, "You guys okay?"
We had an epiphany, Molasses.
Yeah, he's asking for apples, and he's attacking the trees. What's a wonderful, delicious breakfast food that goes with oatmeal? It's apples. Apples.
Oh, sorry, I'm not actually that into breakfast, Molasses says.
So it's understandable. We sort of our whole brand, we're built around it, so
Yeah.
it's like an overexposure thing. I get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if we offer him apples maybe that's all he's looking for. Maybe he just wants to be a delicious breakfast for everybody to enjoy.
Maybe, like
Yeah.
we don't know.
We don't know.
So we should try it.
Worth a try. Call up Diner Dan. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, 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 boop. And he appears boing on the screen.
Hey gals, finally at the breakfast cave.
Yeah, finally made it here. Much better connection. What do you need?
Well, Diner Dan, we discovered that
Trees and apples. Don't you start, Gingerbread says. to
Gingerbread's
Sugar.
having some kind of episode over here. But we discovered that the demands he was making from the very beginning that were drowned out by the horrendous gunfire of
from the police.
from the police force. That's what he's asking for. Maybe if we give him apples, he'll come in peace. Maybe he just wants to be a delicious, nutritious breakfast for all the boys and girls of this great country of ours, America.
Diner Dan looks down. He says,
Stupidest shit I ever heard. But I'll still help you.
I'm wiring you 40 apples as we speak.
And they look overhead, and there's like a plane and a box of
"It's
apples.
the pancake plane."
The pancake plane. It looks like a pancake.
It does. It's great.
Yeah, and a box. Thump. Like a parachute opens and it lands in front of them. And they open up the box and it's full of apples. And Molasses says, "All right, this might be our last chance, but remember, we still have the chewing gum in case things go wrong."
Sugarcane like grabs an apple and starts eating it. Apples are good.
Yeah, I don't eat those. We're gonna give them to the monster.
Oh, what?
You ate the whole thing already. We have 39 apples now. We gotta make them count. Are you paying attention to me?
I'm paying fucking attention, Sugarcane said.
All right, girls. And breakfast formation B. And
The girls stand in a straight line.
yeah.
And start giving one another apples.
Yeah, in a line, and throwing the apples at the oatmeal monster.
Yeah.
And the oatmeal monster goes, "What? Apples!
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 Yes!"
You see, and then you hear Gingerbread scream, "And trees!"
No, enough with enough now, enough. And suddenly the oatmeal monster is filled with apples, dotted like a chocolate chip cookie. And all of the breakfast boys stand at the ready, all of the policemen, and they say, "Hold your fire!" And all the policemen stop shooting the oatmeal monster, finally.
Oh, thank you for stopping and shooting me.
And it's quiet. Everybody's waiting with anticipation to see what the oatmeal monster will do. Will he come in peace? Is this the message he was trying to get across?
I have existed since the beginning of time. My time has been long and hard. The peace that I once felt in this mortal plane, in this existence, is waning. All things come to an end.
All things feed the next generation. All things are circular. All things have a natural endpoint. I am fast approaching it, and when it comes, I will be reduced to oat. I found a box in the depths of your ruins that sustained me but for a few more moments. I desired only to leave a mark upon this world. I feared for everything, for I would soon no longer be myself, but something new. This change, it frightened me, and so I asked for apples, so that I may be beautiful when I return to the earth. Goodbye.
And he slowly... he loses his form and he starts melting down slowly into a puddle of oatmeal.
Let me hear the police chief. He's reaching for a weapon!
No, stop that.
Oh, sorry.
Well, looks like our work here is done. And Sugarcane walks over to the puddle of oatmeal and she sort of looks at it. And it's like a shot of her looking down at it from the perspective of the oatmeal, the sky in the background, and all four of them come up and stand next to her, all looking down at the oatmeal.
Molasses puts a hand on her shoulder.
So does Sugarcane.
No, Sugarcane's the one she's putting a hand on.
Thank you. So does Gumdrop. And so does Gingerbread. Hey, girls. This was a tough fight.
Yeah.
In the end, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of gave him apples and he went away on his own.
I think that's something, says Gingerbread.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we kind of did something. But we've had a lot of differences today. It was a rough one today. How are you doing, Sugarcane?
I'm scared of death, too.
Gumdrop says, yeah, me too.
Gingerbread says, I'm not.
Molasses says, well, it's something we all have to face.
Eventually.
But at least we can face it together. As a team.
Yeah.
Right, girls?
Totally. Gingerbread puts a piece of gum into her mouth and starts chewing. She says, yeah. Totally.
Wait, what? A puff of smoke dissipates and Gingerbread is like blackened like a cartoon character in Looney Tunes.
Uh-oh, she says.
Oh, Gingerbread! And everyone starts laughing, and the policemen start firing their guns again. And the camera zooms out. Everyone's laughing.
Except for Diner Dan.
Diner Dan is sitting at home alone in the breakfast cave.
Eating a bowl of oatmeal.
Hope they're doing okay.
They'd call if anything was wrong.
I miss my wife.
Breakfast boys, here
Breakfast
today.
boys.
This morning, the most important meal of the day.
Breakfast
boys, coming to your city, fighting off breakfast-related villainy.
This episode of The Breakfast Boys is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Hyundai, driving our world forward towards the future together as the future towards forward together.
This episode of The Breakfast Boys is also sponsored by Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats. These oatmeals are not likely to turn into a monster who is afraid of the existential process of decay and death.
That was great.
Yay!
Yay! That was wonderful.
I agree.
That was fun.
Indeed.
We haven't done like a Saturday morning cartoon before.
It's true.
That was fun.
I think we might have lost it a few times.
Well, maybe, but we always brought it back towards the end.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, was there a moral to that story, Kevin?
Yeah. Death is something we all have to deal with.
Yeah, but
you can, take it one day at a time.
take it one day at a time, and if you're having a bad day,
That's okay.
tomorrow will be different.
Tomorrow will be different.
And you can lean on your friends that are around you.
It'll be worse. Nope. Better.
Maybe.
Or it'll be the same. Or it'll be different.
It'll be different.
It'll be different. That's what ended on, I think.
Was there any notes from the thing? Anything you liked? Anything you didn't like?
I think a note that might be necessary every once in a while is maybe we should not have like a shit billion character.
It makes it a little bit difficult, but you great. You wrote down all the names and stuff.
I did.
I thought we did. I thought this was one of
did.
the best jobs we did of keeping them all straight.
Me too.
They all kind of blended together by the end.
Which was funny. I thought it was very funny.
It was funny,
but yeah, it was a good time. I thought that like. I really like the tonal clashes we did this one. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, I like the silly, goofy Saturday morning cartoon juxtaposed with the moments of like actual real life drama.
Yeah,
I thought those were fun. I thought this was a lot of.
I think Breakfast Boys has legs.
I think Breakfast Boys has legs. Maybe we'll do a sequel one day.
Well, we'll adapt Breakfast Boys for like the future.
For the screen?
For the screen.
Yeah.
Totally.
Coming soon to Hulu. Well, is there anything else?
I think we should tell the folks what to do now.
Yeah.
I think you should comment, you should subscribe, and you can come. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, peg. You can touch, you can look, you are able-bodied, willing to do anything you want. You can do it, okay?
You can do it.
You can. All right?
And you can send us a suggestion if you want to inform an episode. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
All that stuff.
Send us an email. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening. I love you.
Take us home,
I'm doing it.
Okay. Sorry.
Be safe. Be lovely. And goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Breakfast boys. Breakfast boys. Breakfast boys. Breakfast boys. But they're all women. Breakfast boys. Gender's a construct.
Breakfast boys.
The police are thugs.
Breakfast boys.
We love breakfast.